All right, guys, welcome back. And today we're going to be diving into a gameplay topic that isn't too exciting, but it's something that's bugged me in Madden for a long time. And that's going to be field goals, and more specifically, how ridiculously easy they are. And like I said, this is something that's bothered me for a while, dating all the way back to probably like Madden 2005. Field goals have never been something that have been explicitly hard, but it's been a long time since I felt like I was even capable of missing a field goal in Madden. And I understand why it's like that. Missing field goals isn't fun. Missing extra points isn't fun, and fun is the name of the game these days. But with the separate game styles, I feel like making them harder definitely fits both into the simulation and the competitive game styles. For simulation, you see in the real NFL all the time the difference between having a good kicker and a bad kicker, and how that can affect teams on a game-to-game and a season-long basis. Extra points get missed, field goals get missed, and they are anything but the certainty that they are when it comes to Madden. Then for competitive, I don't know exactly what those guys want in this area, but from my perspective, field goals can be another skill mechanic. Can you hit the accuracy meter consistently with a lower rated kicker, or when it comes to a mode like salary cap, are you going to have to spend extra cap on a better kicker because you need all the help you can get when it comes to making extra points and field goals? Now, I'm sure some of you guys are saying, well, Deuce, I've missed kicks before, and I want to stop you right there because yes, we've all missed kicks, but I'm going to illustrate the issue in a way that I don't really think can be argued, and for that, I present to you Ray Finkle. Some of you may remember him from his Ace Ventura fame and the term laces out, but to put it simply, Ray Finkle sucks. He is about as aware as a rock, and when it comes to kicking, he has a leg of steel, but he couldn't hit the ground if he kicked the ball out of a plane. And if you're wondering why his accuracy is at 59 and not like 0, the reason is this. For whatever reason, if you go any lower than 59, you just get absurdly missed kicks that will sometimes only go a few yards forward, but 30 yards to the left or right. You'll also notice the kick meter acts differently, where it starts all the way from the left rather than from where the A button icon is. You can get it to a point in the 50s where the meter starts to act normal, but the kicks will still go completely awry, and 59 seems to be the benchmark there. And just to give you an idea of how bad he really is, 59 for kick accuracy is also going to be 17 points worse than the worst rated kicker in the game. So we're dealing with something far worse than you'd ever see in your franchise or on Ultimate Team at any point in time. To the settings, we're going to be on All Madden, and you're going to see that we're sitting at 38 for kick accuracy, and the reason it isn't any lower is the same as the kick accuracy attribute. Once you get under 38, you pretty much only get those absurd looking missed field goals where it's not based on any kind of input at all. It's just bugged out and the kicks go all over the place, and it's literally impossible to make a kick. So just to clarify, we're on the toughest setting in the game with a kicker rated 17 points lower in kick accuracy than the worst kicker in the game, and we're on the toughest possible sliders that will allow for a made kick. So we're going to jump into practice here, and maybe we start out with a shorter field goal like an extra point just to get warmed up and test things out, or we could just go big or go home and start from a spot where a kick has never been made in the history of the NFL. Now, while that plays in the background, I'll give you some fun facts real quick to consider while watching Ray Finkle nail kick after kick. From 1960 to 2017 in the NFL, there has been a total of 134 field goals attempted from 60 or more yards. Of those 134 kicks, only 18 were made, which is good for a 13.4% field goal percentage. Two kickers have made multiple 60-yard kicks in NFL history, Sebastian Janikowski and Greg Zuerlein. And when it comes to kicks from 65 plus yards, kickers are a combined 0 for 25. But as you can see here, that is not a problem for the mighty Ray Finkle, and that's what I'm trying to showcase here to prove the point. If I can take a kicker with the worst accuracy rating possible on the hardest settings possible and essentially turn a kick that no kicker has ever made in the history of the NFL into an extra point, is there really any chance of a kick is going to be missed from anywhere else on the field? And that's the problem. Outside of a block, the kick coming up short, or some kind of ridiculous user error, there's virtually no chance of missing a kick. And I'm sure online plays a large role into how this is handled as well, because latency can come into play there and can take something even as simple as this and make it much more difficult. But from a simulation standpoint, standpoint, this is unacceptable, and having this portion of the game like this takes all the excitement, or drama is probably a better word to use there, out of certain situations. You score a touchdown late in the game and you need the extra point for a tie or the win, and there's no worry at all there. 27-yard field goal to move on in the playoffs. Good news, Blair Walsh, it's not a problem. And then you look at the concept of getting in field goal range at the end of a game or half, and that is essentially broken down to just getting to the point where your kicker can reach the goalpost, because there's no worry of accuracy ever being an issue. And the biggest problem here is the meter and how it functions. The current kick meter is very reminiscent of the older Madden's kick meter, where you have that area, in this case the black area, which essentially represents a perfect kick, and then you have the light blue area, which represents a good kick but not perfect. And the biggest issue is that penalty for hitting that light blue area is so small that it's largely insignificant, because even if you hit the meter in that area, the difference between that kick and a perfect kick is maybe a couple of feet one way or another. And as you can see watching this video, a couple of feet one way or another, even on a 65-yard kick, isn't making a difference at all. And so what essentially happens with that is that basically that light blue area is the same as that black area, and the penalty that you're going to get from missing a kick or missing the meter by however much isn't going to be enough, or almost never enough, to cause a missed kick. As you can see in a lot of these kicks, I'm not hitting anywhere near the perfect part of the meter, and at this range with a kicker this bad, the results when that happens should be absolutely terrible. And the comparison I'm going to use for this is free throws in basketball. It's a small thing, but if every game you play you're making 100% of your free throws, and over the course of a season a guy like Shaq is a 90% free throw shooter, that's just not realistic at all. But realism isn't always fun, and I understand that, and I understand that it's the reason why things are the way they are currently. But if you're going to implement something like a simulation game style that is supposed to specifically cater to realistic gameplay, at some point you're going to have to break away from that fun over everything approach. And looking at this issue, even once you break away from it just being a gameplay thing, it starts to have a domino effect on other modes like CFM or MUT, where there's no reason to ever pay attention to ratings at all, because they don't really matter. If I have a guy with 99 kick power, he's more valuable than any guy that has lower kick power, because the accuracy ratings aren't really going to matter. And again, this is obviously a small thing. Is it as significant as blocking or AI or anything like that? Of course not, and I'm never going to claim that it is, but it's important to me. And the way I look at it is, how many times do you hear the term "it's the little things" used when referring to virtually anything in the world? And if you continue to just skim over and ignore those little things and the nuances of the game, they tend to add up over time, and you end up with a very big problem on your hands, similar to what we've seen with franchise mode. But I think that's going to do it for now. The franchise series should be starting soon. I'm still testing out sliders a little bit, but I think for now they're pretty locked in and at a good enough place to start. And I'll run you through those and any other settings and all that kind of stuff, so don't worry there. But hopefully you guys enjoyed, or at least got something out of this video. And before I let you guys go, I just want to let you know that even though the video ends, the bangage of Ray Finkle's 65-yard field goals never does. Thanks for watching.